there. So today I want to do something a little more dramatic. I think lately I've been doing a lot of like fresh, peachy, bronzy, which is definitely my go-to, but today I want to do something a little like smokier, a little more gray. It's kind of been rainy and I don't know, I feel like I just want something a little more dramatic. So I'm going to go for probably some like gray. I have this like matte one from Bobbi Brown that's really pretty I might use today. This one's called Steel. I don't know if you can see that. So I think I'm gonna go with that today. So first I'm just gonna get my skin prepped because right now I have nothing on. So I'm gonna do my bun, which I don't know, a couple months back, some of you guys asked me how I do my bun. And I just grab a ponytail, anyway, tight, really, really tight the first time around, and then kind of looser as you go. My hair's super long, so it kind of stays pretty well with just one hair tie. Anyway, that's my like 10-second top knot. So I'm gonna start with some skin prep, and I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna go for this today, the Glossier Rich Priming Moisturizer Rich face cream, because my skin's been a little red, a little dry, and this really is so luxurious and buttery. Like, look at that. Oh my goodness. I will link this below because this is just, if you have dry skin, this is amazing, and it wears really well under makeup too. Some heavy creams can get a little too thick and can make your foundation not sit right, but this one is totally cool under foundation. Okay, oh, it feels so good. It has a lavender smell and it's, oh, so nice. Really wakes you up. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is take the, I just need like a little glow right now, so I've been trying this Estee Edit Radiance Activator. It's supposed to treat, prep, and glow all in one, and I really like it. It's lightweight. One of my friends gave it to me. She said it was breaking her out, so I haven't had that issue, but maybe if you're really sensitive, look how pretty. It's just like a nice, dewy texture. So I'm just gonna apply that where I need a little glow, which is pretty much everywhere right now because I've been feeling kind of blah with this rain. It was so beautiful and then it got really cold again. I feel like it's like fall, but not the nice parts of fall. So this past week, this video I did with Spoken Bride just came out, and it's all about how to do your own wedding makeup. So if you know someone or if you're doing your own wedding makeup and you want to check it out, it's a 30-minute step-by-step tutorial of every single thing you need to do to get your makeup to stay on for an entire day for a wedding or for a big event. So I'll link that below so you guys can check that out too. I'm taking some Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. Now this is super light coverage, but it has diamond powder in it, which is so cool. So it actually does give even more glow. And I feel like it just takes the redness out of my skin, even though it's such a light coverage. I would say since I've been using Glossier skincare, mainly the moisturizer and the cleanser, my skin has been so much less red, so much less reactive, and a lot more hydrated. So I can even get away with wearing this by itself. I get a little red around my nose. As you can see, I'm gonna put a little bit there. But I'll just put some concealer where I get red. But other than that, this just makes my skin feel like there's not much on it, and that's really nice this time of year when you just want like a light, fresh face. Just gonna let that like sink in a little bit. Then I'm gonna grab a concealer. I've been using this Clé de Peau concealer in the shade Beige, and I'm just gonna put this just around the face where I get a little red. So nose, cover that blemish, cover these blemishes, and that one, and a couple little ones over here. And I always like to put a little in the center of the face just to brighten it up a little. So a little bit of concealer. And then what I'll do is just take this with my trusty Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques and just give it a good blend. Sometimes if I am covering a blemish and I do this blend and it's still like this is still not covering, I'll just go back over it and tap it with a little more product. But the nice thing about that is you're just covering where you have a spot or a little bit of redness. You're not like glopping on a ton of foundation and a ton of high coverage stuff, just for days that you want to feel a little more fresh. This is a great base too if you just want to no makeup to wear to the gym or the beach, or if you're just like going somewhere really, really casual and you don't want to look like you're over the top with your gorgeousness. So yeah, I'm just going to take a little more concealer and cover that little blemish. I'm just going to pat it in with my finger. We have like oils in our fingers and the warmth of our hands, and sometimes that can just help blend a product in. It's not perfectly covered, but I'm okay with that. You know, it's real. It's just real skin. Sometimes we get a little red and hey, what are you gonna do? I really like this Revlon color stay. It's a little pot and it's long wearing. This is the color Chocolate 720. Looks like this. Looks like this. It's a very matte, sort of mushroomy brown. It comes with a brush in the lid, but I don't use this because I just find it kind of annoying. I just use my finger or I'll use a brush, depending on what's close by. I think today I'll use a brush. I'm gonna go for this little dense, this is called a shading brush from Real Techniques, but just something that's got a little more thickness to it so it won't flop the color around the lid too lightly, because I want this to be kind of concentrated. So I'm going to start in the middle of the lid with a little bit of it and just blend outward. The nice thing about using a long wear item like this is that it'll keep everything that you put on top of it from creasing, and I get really oily lids, especially this time of year. So I need something there as a little base. So I'm just taking it right into the crease. So that's honestly really pretty on its own. I'm just gonna add a little more to make it a tad more even. And I'm just really concentrating it by the lash line and then really gently pulling it up into this crease. Now we all have a crease, so this will work on any eye shape. If you have like more open eyes or more hooded eyes like me. I think this is a really pretty look on anybody. After you do that step, you can just take a clean brush and just work it into that crease to make sure you don't have any uneven spots. Do a little bit under here, just clean that up. Just kind of lifts the eye more. And try to, if you have a little pot of like a longwear shadow or a cream, always make sure you put the cap on really tight so it doesn't dry out. They tend to dry out really fast, which is kind of a bummer. Okay, and then I'm going to just go and take that shadow I showed you in the beginning of the video, this Steel Matte Shadow from Bobbi Brown. It's just a gorgeous slate gray. And I'm going to use a pretty fluffy brush, and I'm just going to work that over where I put the longwear product just to give it a little more density of color. And it's really sticking right to it. You always want to just hug this part of the eye and let the brush do the work for you. You don't need to go crazy moving your wrist back and forth. Just push it in there, and in little strokes, just let it define your natural crease on its own. See how it did that? And I didn't use more than one eyeshadow. It's just a little bit down here and then a little bit in the crease. Now, if this was a nighttime look, I would maybe wing it out and add a ton of black liner, but because I want to wear this during the day, I'm going to just keep it as close to my natural eye shape as possible. So I'm going to take that clean brush I was using before, and I'm going to clean up and just soften the edges of the shadow. I'm not taking it onto the shadow, I'm just rubbing it right on that seam where the color meets the flesh tone. You see how that just made it look like it's diffused? That's what we want. Okay, I'm not going to put any under the eye because this is going to be my daytime look today. But I am going to take a little more of that concealer and just put it under to brighten a little bit because I'm a little bit dark right here. I'm actually just going to use my finger to blend this in. So I take my ring finger and I just press it into that little nook. And without moving the finger too much, I just make little tapping motions. You don't want to really drag that skin. That skin is like tissue paper compared to the skin on the rest of our bodies. Actually, the skin on your eyes and the skin on your chest and neck are very similar in texture, so you never want to like rub or drag the skin as much as possible because that'll just promote wrinkles rather than avoiding wrinkles. I want to try to avoid wrinkles. I'm not like scared of them, and I'm definitely not pro Botox at this stage in my life for myself, just because I think aging is something that I hope to get to do and I want to let that happen on its own. But if we can try to keep our skin in good shape, that's important. Okay, the next thing I want to work on is my brows. They're looking a little crazy and sparse right now. So I'm gonna grab some Boy Brow, actually. The Glossier Boy Brow, because it's just a gel and I don't want to like fill them in too much. And I'm also gonna take this NARS, I think this is their larger than life pencil. I can't remember the name because mine rubbed off. But I'm just gonna put a little bit of this under here just to brighten a little bit. And it'll kind of like just do a little brow shaping for me without having to do any additional color in the brow. And I'm just going to take my finger and pat that into the skin. It's a flesh tone, and I think they make a few others, so try to find something like that in your skin tone. I also know NYX makes what they call the Wonder Pencil, and that's a flesh tone pencil that you can use in the inner waterline, which actually gives me an idea. I think I might want to put this in my inner waterline just to brighten up that bottom eye a little. So I'm just going to hug it onto that waterline like you can see I'm doing. Now I'm doing this while holding a mirror, but typically I would just very gently put a little counter pressure right here like that, just so it pops out a tiny bit, and then apply the concealer pencil right to it. But because I'm holding a mirror, I'm pulling it down a little further than I normally would. And then just make sure that's all blended in. And that just like brightened up my eyes and made them look a little bigger, even though I'm wearing a smoky eye on top. So onto the brows, I'm just gonna do the brow gel. I love this Boy Brow. I think it's awesome. The formula is amazing. It doesn't flake. It gives the slightest bit of tint to the brow hairs, and it really, you can like put them in any direction you like. I like brushing mine up. I think it lifts the whole face. And then I brush these in a downward motion, just to give that arch some definition. So you can already see it. They just look groomed, but they don't look like they're really, really full. I think I do want to take a little bit of a black pencil just along my lash line. Oh, I have a hair. And I'm just going to do that in a super fine, I'm going to take this Makeup Forever, I think this is their Aqua XL pencil in black, and just holding it to the side, I'm going to just gently line that lash line, but with the thinnest possible line I can. What that's going to do is just give my lashes sort of a base and make them look a little fuller at the root because they're a little bit thin. I'm using a lot less pressure too as I go to the inner corner because I really just want it to look like the tiniest little seam. I don't even really want to see it after I get my lashes done. Actually I'm going to take that dense brush I used to apply the cream shadow, and I'm just going to rub it right along the eyeliner just to soften it even more so it looks a little smoky and not too harsh. I feel like I need to put my lip on because my lips are so dry right now. I'm going to put on, oh yeah, I have this cute little NARS one. It's their Velvet Lip Glide in the color Bound. It's this beautiful mauvey purpley color. I think it's very flattering on a lot of people. And I really like it on a fair skin too, or a medium skin like mine, because it just brings out those sort of olivey tones. So I really like that color. I think that's really nice. It's nice to wear like a pinky or just like a soft color on the lips when you're doing a more intense eye. I think it just gives it that juxtaposition that you're doing something that's still feminine and pretty, but it's not too harsh and intense and editorial. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is curl my lashes with my Bobbi Brown curler. I love this curler. I actually also recently discovered there's an Ulta eyelash curler. They call it their Japanese one, and it opens really wide so you can really get in there and get every lash. I'm just going to tilt my head back a little bit and then clamp it down. And clamp and release and then pull it out a little bit as you're clamping. That way you get the biggest part of the curl right at the root and it just lifts the whole thing. Oh, I just feel like myself after I curl my eyelashes. And then I'm going to take this Hypnose Drama mascara from Lancome, which I love. I love the brush. It has like a little bit of a wiggle shape to it. There you go. See how the brush is curved a little bit? I think that really helps get right into the corner of the lashes and really lift them up. I know there's a lot of artists that would probably add lashes to this look, and I might if I was going out. Truth be told, I don't go out very much anymore because I have a 3-year-old and it's just not that season in my life right now, and I'm really okay with it. But if I had the chance to go out with my husband or with girlfriends, I would definitely maybe add a couple individuals to this. But again, this is a daytime look, so it's gonna be, you know, glamorous and polished, but not like really, really overdone. I think the makeup that I'm always attracted to is makeup that looks realistic and it looks like someone could actually wear it for a day rather than, you know, something that looks like it only would look good in photos. So I am always attracted to fresh skin and that's not too powdered. I still love a dramatic eye, but you know, something that really makes your eyes pop and just stuff that's easy to wear and easy to talk to people and walk around and not feel like you're really, really wearing a full face of makeup. So I think that's my makeup philosophy, and I think that comes through all my videos too. I'm just not into like really, really heavy, cakey, Instagram-y makeup. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's bad, but there's definitely a time and place for like theater makeup and editorial makeup, but it's just not my thing, and it's probably not why you come to watch this channel, so I'm guessing what you like is what I like too. That would make sense, right? The next thing I'm going to do is take the Kevyn Aucoin blush in, what shade is this? Aurora. Oh, I love this color. It's just, here, I have this little contour kit that I got from Sephora, but they don't make this anymore, but they do make these shades. So it's a blush, Aurora, Desert Nights bronzer, Starlight highlighter, and the sculpting shade for his contouring in medium. And I think once in a while Sephora or even Nordstrom will come out with a little palette like this, and it's very, like, I think this was $65, but the sculpting kit on its own is, I think, $50. So to get the extra colors in there was really, to me, a good purchase. So I'm gonna do a little blush right on the apples. Now see, that's a little more than I would normally apply, so I'm gonna switch sides. Put some over here. That looks a little more like what I would normally do. And now I'm gonna roll the brush a different way and use that clean side of the brush to just blend this in more. I think that's why people get a little scared by blush, because you can accidentally put too much on. If it's like way too much, you can just take your foundation brush, whatever's left on here, and you can just kind of brush around it and sort of put it back in its place, and then you can just see now it's just like a little tiny bit of flush. I'll probably take some of this bronzer too. It's a little more orangey than I would normally go for. See how it's just like it has a little bit of red in it, which is great when I'm tan. That actually is very helpful. But I'll show you what it looks like. See, I'm just putting a little in my hairline and it's just giving me a little warmth up there. I think it helps when you apply it with a fluffy brush, because then it's much more diffused and you're not getting a very strong streak. I'll take a tiny bit too, just on my cheeks. And a little bit on my nose where I usually get a little sun. So that's the finished look. A nice like gray matte eye. And that is it. So if you guys like this tutorial, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, I'll link some videos in the next screen that you might like to watch if you haven't seen them already. And I will see you again in my next video.